Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in these videos, I go over the weekly astrological energies. And this week, we will be going over the energy for February 3rd to the 9th, 2025. I am a little bit late posting this and recording it because I unexpectedly received a lot of requests for personal year ahead forecasts, which I absolutely love doing. But yes, so I'm a little bit late on my weekly astrology forecast, but thank you all for joining me. And if you would like a personal year ahead forecast pre-recorded, I structure these readings very much like my YouTube videos, only it's strictly on your charts and your energy. You can email me or click the link below in the description and book your personal pre-recorded year ahead reading. So this week we have quite a lot going on. We have Venus entering Aries, we have Jupiter stationing direct, we have the Neptune North Node conjunction, and we have the Mercury Cazimi. So actually, at the time of me recording this, Venus has already ingressed into Aries and Jupiter has already stationed direct. So we can already start to feel the energy shift. Venus entering Aries, she then goes from being exalted to now in detriment. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars still being retrograde is definitely going to affect the expression of this energy. So Venus being in Aries is more assertive, more aggressive. This is great for personal empowerment and ambition, going after your personal goals. We can utilize the energy in that way. However, Mars still being retrograde is going to affect the expression of the energy just a little bit. And we also want to keep in mind that Venus is pre-shadow. So anything that is arising at this time, major themes, topics, events, we will be revisiting these topics and events and experiences and situations over the next few months. Venus will not even, leave post shadow until May. So we are in this energy for quite a while. So we definitely want to be journaling, paying attention to what is showing up for all of us on an individual level, but also on a collective level. I mean, we have so much showing up right now in the world. I'm actually currently working on a Canadian forecast, getting into the energies for Canada for 2025, and just diving into some of the history for Canada, and then looking at what is kind of showing up in Canada. It's a really interesting. We have like Neptune and Saturn entering the 10th house of Canada in Aries, and this will actually be Canada's very first Neptune return. So anyways, I don't want to get too much off topic, but this is a forecast I'm working on that I hope to post very soon. So make sure you watch for that for all my fellow Canadians. Now, back to the current energies. Today, we have Venus in Aries. She just shifted into Aries, and we have Jupiter stationing direct. So when we are actually on the day or around the day of Jupiter stations, we can tend to overinflate certain situations and experiences. So whatever's kind of showing up at this time, because Jupiter is that planet of expansion, and Jupiter being in Gemini, this, has to do with our mind, our communication, news, media, information. We can tend to over exaggerate or over inflate situations. It's a bit of like I don't even really want to say like a drama, like over dramatic, but we can think things are a lot bigger than what they are with this energy. So we just want to be a little bit cautious and aware of that. You also want to check your personal birth chart to see if you have any personal planets or points around the 11 degrees of Gemini. If so, the Jupiter station will be affecting you on more of a personal level, meaning that it can bring more experiences or situations in for you because this energy is hitting you in a more personal way. I currently have Jupiter in my 10th house of career, forming an exact trine to my natal Jupiter in the 6th house. So this is why with like my business and career and stuff, everything's kind of so quick and happening, which I love. It's great. A little bit unexpected, but I'm loving it. And yeah, so you definitely want to check your personal birth chart, especially when you're listening to these videos and the degree points I'm discussing. If you have personal planets or points around the degrees discussed in the videos, then the energies will always be more personal to you and can influence your life more on a more personal level and a little bit more intense. So Jupiter stationing direct on a collective level, we can see a lot more around news, media, and information because it's in Gemini. And Gemini rules news and media. And when we're talking about collective energies and Gemini, this is where we can also see more contracts, agreements within countries, and we are actually seeing that. We've got the United States talking about tariffs on Mexico and Canada. I mean, that definitely has to do with this Jupiter station in Gemini. And because Gemini rules, contracts, agreements, treaties, things like that. So we are seeing that, kind of play out. However, if you see the way some of the collective has approached it, where some people are, thinking it's a much bigger deal than what it is, or you can see, some people, oh, this is the end of the world, and that is that Jupiter energy where we tend to overinflate or over exaggerate what is. Now, I believe there was just an agreement with Canada and Mexico, so the tariffs are put on hold for a month. But this really has to do with the borders and Donald Trump just wanting the borders to be a little bit more safer, and the things that are coming in the borders, which I don't want to say because I don't think we can really say that on YouTube. But it's the things that are coming in and out of the borders that are really the main focus. I believe, from what I've heard and just my own research I've done on the topic, that he wants to put a stop to and, put a hold on it. Like, let's eliminate this, which we should all want. That we all want our countries to be safer, and so I think having safe and secure borders is not an unrealistic expectation or request. Unfortunately, the leader of Canada is just a little slow on wanting to do these, and I don't know why he wouldn't want it. All he talks about is how he cares about Canadians, but yet he doesn't really do any actions to kind of back that up. Anyways, so now getting into the Neptune North Node conjunction, which we will have exact on February 6th on Thursday. And at this point, we have the moon. The moon will enter Gemini on Thursday, which is going to amp up that Jupiter and Gemini energy, because when we have the moon transiting the zodiac, when the moon hits the planets, I find there is like an activation of the energy within that sign and that planet. So like this Jupiter and Gemini energy, and kind of what's arising around that, there can be like another activation of that on Thursday on February 6th. And then with the North Node conjunction, this is where this North Node conjunction in Pisces has not happened in like hundreds and hundreds of years. Actually, yeah, it's been quite a while. I know it's been a few hundred because Neptune has like 164 degree orbit. 164 year orbit, meaning that it takes Neptune 164 years to transit the zodiac, and it takes the nodes 18 to 19 years to transit the zodiac. So, Neptune connecting with the North Node in Pisces, it takes quite a while for that to happen. And I believe the last time this happened was around the time it was either the 1500 or 1700s, and it was with the Salem witch trials and all of that kind of stuff going. And it was with that, which, if we think like Pisces is a very spiritual energy, rules mysticism, things like that. And at that time, there was a rise of like, witches and healers. And really, a witch is just a woman that can, heal herself. When you look at the definition of, a witch or a wizard, or whatever the kind of male witches call themselves. But it is just one that can heal themselves, which has learned, the magics of the earth and nature and how to utilize that in their life. But during the Salem witch trials, there was, I remember when I researched this a couple of years ago, they actually had like a rod. It was like a hot wrought iron, and it was hot, and they put it to your skin, and if you screamed, you were a witch. Well, who is not going to scream? So they killed hundreds and hundreds, or maybe even thousands of women that they thought were witches. And so that was kind of what was going on with the North Node Neptune conjunction in Pisces. So we may see a lot around like spirituality and, things of that nature being activated. Not that something like that is going to happen, more in a modern era type thing where maybe people are being attacked on social media for their beliefs around spirituality. That is something that we can see with this North Node Neptune conjunction. Sometimes it's like we look back in the past how these things showed up, and they will show up in their own way in our time, where obviously, it's illegal and inhumane to do things like that they did, hundreds of years ago. But one can be, crucified online and canceled, I guess, as we would say, for their beliefs. And so we might see more of that with the North Node Neptune conjunction. However, in your own personal life, you want to know where you have Pisces in your birth chart. And we also want to remember too that the North Node Neptune conjunction is not necessarily going to trigger something huge for us on a personal level. It's going to be more collective energies, and the nodes they communicate pretty much more with the sun and the moon. They react and respond more with the energy from the sun and the moon, because that's the energy, and they're not planets, right? They're actually mathematical points in the sky. And so they represent where we're having the eclipses, and it's a calculation. And so they primarily reflect like energies from the sun and the moon. However, when we have planets crossing that point, it is going to add energy to it. It is going to activate, the points. Now on February 7th, on Friday, we will have Venus in Aries forming a sextile to Pluto. And sextiles are a little bit more not as in your face aspects. The energy of them can just bring on opportunity or support in some way, and having Venus and Aries forming a sextile to Pluto can bring in maybe some unexpected opportunity. And remember that whatever is activated with that sextile will be revisited, because Venus is pre-shadow. So, whatever is kind of arising at this time, we will be reassessing, reevaluating over the next couple of months. Venus is going to station retrograde on March 1st and will remain retrograde until April 12th. I will be posting a video on the Venus retrograde. I've got so many forecasts on the go right now. I have, the Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Jupiter in Cancer, Uranus in Gemini, Canada forecast, Venus retrograde. I've got so much kind of on the go. I've created already the the presentations for them. I just have to find the time to record them all. In all of my forecasts, I always get into all 12 signs, so you guys have an idea of how this energy is showing up for you personally. But when we have this Venus sextile to Pluto, we do want to be aware of what is showing up for us. Is there an opportunity? Are we having a conversation with someone and there's a seed planted? These are things we want to be paying attention to right now, having Venus in pre-shadow, because there can be something that stands out within a conversation. Even sometimes when you watch something or you're driving in your car and you hear something and it triggers some insight, that's what can be going on. Speaking of insight, when we have our Mercury Cazimi on Sunday, February 9th, that is a day where we really can get some intuitive insight. And when that really can happen, where something really stands out in a conversation or when you're listening to something in the car. So this whole week we want to be, if you watched my monthly horoscopes, I really talked about how the entire month of February, we really want to be journaling, what is showing up for us. And because we will be revisiting these themes and topics, and sometimes themes that show up or situations or something that stands out or somebody that comes into your life very briefly, we don't think it can be that significant. However, down the road it can be, where maybe someone comes into your life and it could just be this quick kind of interaction with someone. And then 6 months from now, 8 months from now, you end up running into them again, or they're at a group that you attend, or whatever the case is. And they end up helping you in some way towards this new journey or direction you're moving into. So we want to pay attention to what is showing up at this time, who is showing up, our thoughts, intuitive downloads, because we're in this moment and in this time of revisiting a lot. And speaking of that too, Mars is going to station direct February 23rd. And then exactly a week later, Venus stations retrograde. So we don't even get and it's not even an actual natural energy, because by the time Mars stations retrograde, Venus is going to be at a standstill. So we're really in this retrograde energy since last October, when Mars started to slow down. So we've been in this energy of reflecting, reassessing, reevaluating our life direction. For the first half of the Mars retrograde, Mars was the ruler of the North Node, because we had the North Node in Aries. We just had the nodes shift into Virgo and Pisces in January. So there was a lot of changes in direction, I would say, over the last few months, where there could have been a lot of sudden shifts, twists, and turns into a new direction in life, if that makes sense. So I hope this helped you all navigate the energies for this week. We have a lot of energy shifts. Venus entering Aries, Jupiter station, I think, is a big one. Remember, if anything is showing up for you at this time, jot it down, journal. And around today, tomorrow, and today meaning February 4th, the day Jupiter stations, if something is showing up for you and it seems really big, just sit with it before reacting or responding, because sometimes around that Jupiter station we can over exaggerate or think things are bigger than what they are. So yeah, just be cautious and aware of that. And if you would like to book a pre-recorded personal year ahead reading or birth chart plus transits reading, comment below, email me. I can reach out to you, or I have the link to my website. I may be switching to more pre-recorded readings than one-on-one consultations, because I really enjoy them. I like the pre-recorded readings, especially if you are trying to learn how to understand and read your own birth chart. And I have had a course that I've been sitting on for a long time that I've created. I will be launching it as soon as the energy is supportive to launch it, because I use I use the day-to-day transits to kind of upload videos and launch things in my business. Um, what is it called? I can't think of, oh my gosh, what is it called? Anyways, I was trying to think of the term for it, but I can't think of it. So, yes, if you would like a personal year ahead forecast or a personal reading of any kind, I even do compatibility readings within relationships. You can even do compatibility readings for parents and children, your boss, whoever. And it's where you compare two charts for two people and look at the harmony between the charts, how things are interacting, the planets are interacting. And it shows, communication, emotions. How do you guys handle and process your emotions? Which comes in very handy. I've used it with my children and also my partner. So you understand things a lot more, a lot better when you have a compatibility reading and understand how the charts are speaking to each other and understand how you communicate and how they communicate, how you express emotions and how they express emotions. So thank you all so much for joining me. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. And I will connect with you all in the next one.